Congratulations on that essay, by the way. That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
That's really great. What would the advice be when someone finds themselves maybe in a tension between being a provider and the time you're spending being a provider to being a father and a husband, and how to manage through that?
I have wrestled with that. What's your first name?
Matt.
Matt. I've wrestled with that, Matt, so much. Does anyone else feel that way? That tension? Yeah, okay, good. So it's there. And I'm going to give you not a philosophical answer. I'm going to give you the tangible answer that's actually helped me. When some of you might disagree with this, it's helped me. Take it or leave it. All right. So you know, like a volume dial. If you think of like audio engineer, they have all these dials. They go from like 0 to 10 on audio. I'm just getting a band at concert. What I did was I looked at my life and I realized any given day, I wanted to live out and be awesome at these roles. I want to be a man of God, be Catholic. I want to be a great husband. I want to be a great dad. I kept going. Each kid gets a dad. It's not just one thing. It's all my kids. I want to be a great entrepreneur. I want to be a great business owner. I want to be a great boss. I want to be a great brother. I want to be a great friend. Actually, I still want to be a great athlete. Joseph and I talk about deadlifting. He wins. All right. I wanted all these roles are real. I need to do them. I want financial. There's all these dials. The problem was I was measuring myself on every single one of them all the time, every single day. So if every day wasn't a 10, I got to feel like crap at the end of the day because I was a bad husband that day. So when I traveled for work, I got a 10 at work, but I got a 0 husband and father. Like I can't pretend I'm out in California sipping a little wine after a great business meeting. I kicked some ass in there. We're gonna get some business. I'm being a good dad right now. Sure didn't feel like it. So what I did was I started setting up reasonable measurements of when you can expect me to be a good dad, a good husband, a good boss. So with my wife, I told her, I'm like, hey, honey, I want you to measure me as a husband every 2 weeks. In a 2-week span, I think I could be a 10. But any given day, based on where I'm at, where I'm going, I just think it's gonna be too hard for me to do. So if you give me that level of grace. With my kids, give me a week. If you just give me a week span to be a good dad, I might miss a few things, I might miss a track meet, but give me the week to just snap the chalk line for me. And even at work with my employees and my people, I give them the same thing. Hey, this is what my week looks like, this is what my month looks like. Hey, can you measure me on the month? Before, if I'm doing something wrong, just capture the patterns of behavior as long as it's not egregious. And let's get together at the end of the month. Let's kind of look at the body of work, and I'll do the same for you. And I've been doing that for about 2 years. And I'll tell you what, it feels a lot more manageable when I start spreading it out versus I'm trying to hold the tension all the time. I don't know if that's helpful. And the second thing that I do is that when it comes to my work, with that, writing down God, Erica, family, aware, detached, am I sanctifying the work that I'm doing? Am I doing it for the right reasons? And am I doing it in the right volume of work? Because sometimes when I'm trying to generate revenue, when's enough, guys? Never. When's your sales quota going down? Never. What's going to happen with the economy? Better get while the getting's good. Those are all real pull points, but I have to map it back to number one, am I in a sprint right now or a marathon? And if I'm sprinting, this can't be a marathon. So I have to measure my energy and output right there, and just sanctifying it, where do I need to be right now? Sometimes, by the way, when you're doing the right thing, you're going to feel work guilt. That will sit right here. And you're ever have that? Hopefully it's not just me because I hate it. I can't get rid of it. It keeps me up at night.
Explain. Work guilt.
Yeah, so I'm at a kid's soccer game, but my phone's going off. And I know something's needed back there, but I already put in my work day. My work day is done. I'm in this zone, right, Joe? I'm not, honey, don't talk about this right now. I'm there. Or I'd say no. I put something off. Oh, we can't meet again until next quarter. Oh, I got that thing this weekend with the family. We could probably go. And I start to rationalize the work over the family. It's that kind of stuff. So sometimes when you make the right decision, this doesn't go away. That's my responsibility to carry it. Be stay dialed in, BJ. Stay dialed into the thing. So that's what I mean by that work guilt. And by the way, what I found is after the fact, when I did the right thing, I've regretted it about 0 times. I've almost been bankrupt 3 times. Hopefully not again. That was not fun. I've had to pay people out of my own checking account at my business for 6 straight months. Not knowing, I'm how does this, and I showed a business advisor, I'm hey, what can I do with the gym here, whatever. He's looking at my phone, he's how didn't you not go out of business 4 times? And I'm like, stupidity, thick-headedness. Like, I mean, I have no idea how I did it, but I just sat up at night like, I'm gonna go to bed now. Like, that's the day's over. So going back, the dials thing helped me, and some of the executives I coached, they found that to be useful when we even start a session. Hey, sit down, like, where are your dials today? They pick what the roles are, they label them all. What matters to you? Great. What are the measurement criteria you give yourself? And the session's about 90% over after the first 10 minutes. Because they realize, I don't really quite have to feel as bad as I thought I was. I was going to talk to you about these 15 things, and now I realize, like, I didn't give myself enough time to win in those roles in my life, so that was a really helpful one. And then also, when work does call away, or it's going to pull for a period of time, it's sanctifying it and communicating it, so that, like, I can get the grace that I need for that sprint. Helpful?
Yeah, my quick follow-up would be, in those times of financial distress that you just mentioned.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Is the tactics any different during that time to balance the provider tension with pastoral?
To tell you it's the exact same would be a lie. I feel like that I tell you what, prayer obviously takes a bigger role at that point, because that's those moments where I know I'm dependent and I literally don't know what to do. And a lot of this is probably because of decisions that I made. I'm the one in charge, so it's my fault. There's no hiding from it. I can't force blame. And just sitting in there and just like throwing it in front of God and asking for help, that has helped me get through it. I'm like, whatever happens, I guess if it goes bankrupt, like we have that. Thank you, United States. Like a lot of countries don't have that. Like I have that, and I like talk to people that were bankrupt. And then I also talk to people that were in that situation before. And you don't have to reach very far to find some people that would be willing to be like, oh man, you don't even, I'm like, why didn't you tell me that before, man? I've been dying for 2 months, all like on the vine, trying to be independent. I gotta be all by myself, I gotta figure it out. But and I think too, it's like that even when I'm coaching people at the gym, I tell them, hey, like what percentage are we at today? Oh man, I'm only 50%. Great, that's 100% now. Like, let's calibrate today around 50%. That's 100%. Don't give an inch more, I don't want you to get hurt. I think you can do the same thing in life. When you wake up for time stretches where you know it's going to be tough, parents ailing, you have a sick kid, like something serious is going on, you have to understand that your best that you have to offer, doing all of your best, just drop by 25, 30, 40%. And if you try to measure above it, you're going to get sick. You're going to get depressed. What was already a hard job just got 10 times harder, because you're trying to pitch this to everybody when you only have that. There's only so many Red Bulls you can drink. I've tried. There's probably too much all the time. But I think that's the practical tangent. Harder, absolutely. I'd encourage anybody, like the biggest mistake I've made, and I still make, is I go it alone way too long before I ask for help. Like I am so far behind by the time I ask for help that I'm like, why didn't I do like 6 months? Why didn't I just like go ask for something? Go ask one of my mentors. Why? Because that part of me, I want to impress them. I don't want them to think I'm a loser. I don't want them to see that I actually didn't take the 3 things of advice. They said, just don't do these things. Okay, those are the first 3 things I went to. Because who knows better? We do, right, guys? So I think that's maybe what prevents me, like or talking to family about it. Even talking to my kids about money. Like that's one thing my parents never did, and I do it all the time. I said, are you showing them everything? I'm like, yeah, this is it. It's like, why do we have so much? I'm like, give me 6 months. Is the business gonna fail? Hey, remember 6 months ago? We were kicking ass? Like, this is it. It's like, I don't think I can do this, Dad. I'm like, thank you, son. Thank you. Finally, you relented. But yeah, that helps. And then the other, I know I don't want to linger too long here, but I always talk about, this is some from executive coaching that's really worked great, is and when I'm meeting people in like that desolation and that despair, we get together in like a hot air balloon. It's like the perspective balloon. We get in together and like lift this up, and we just kind of keep rolling over time. And last time this happened, I kind of pinned these things down. When did this happen last? Oh yeah, it happened here. And I start to lift them up. And like, hey, and 5 years later, you still think about that? No, okay, good. Does that look a lot like this one? Does that look a lot like this one? And we just keep going up to the whole body of work. And they realize, I thought this was a mountain. I'm like, nah, climbed Everest 6 years ago when your wife passed away. This is nothing once we got up high enough to see the perspective. And I think that's the hardest thing for a man to do, like I can speak for myself, for me to do when I'm looking forward. Because this is the crisis of right now. That stuff's all, I don't even see us. Get back there. Even the victories I don't see. All I see right now is I don't know what to do, I'm lost, I don't know see the end of this, I'm getting stressed, I got work calls, got hostile takeover, I got some trouble, it's like it's just so huge until I do that exercise. And when I'm in my worst spots, I have to sit down and just drink my own Kool-Aid on that. And then when I can't even do it myself, I call my mentors. Hey, can you sit down with me and help me get some perspective on this? And you would be shocked at how many men in your life are more than willing and be honored to come and hear you and find you in your weakness. And they'll tell you stories they never told you before. That I was like, oh, you've been there? Oh, way worse than this. And I've heard some stuff that was way worse. I feel better about myself now.
If I could build on that a little bit. Matt and I have talked a lot about this process. I find myself in a time frame right now in my life where I resigned from my company a month ago, and I'm diving into a full-time business to bring faith to the marketplace. And this last month has been, in one way, if you look at it logically from a financial position, it could be the most stressful time of my life. You know, when your severance stops, you're trying to build up a business with, I feel like Jerry Maguire with the goldfish, and my client walking out of the office, you know, starting from scratch, literally. But this last month has been the best time of my family life, because I've been home, not traveling between Oregon and Idaho and Quebec every week, pretty much. And as I've shared with Matt a little bit, it's an increasing of faith process, because when we find ourselves in a situation where the only way the next season of our life is going to work is to be completely dependent on God, where you know it can't happen by man, it has to happen by Him, that faith increases, and that's when intervention takes place, and that's when you realize that this is real. This faith journey is not just a concept. It's not just something like you said. I love what you said earlier about, am I just sprinkling water on things, you know, holy water on things, and is God blessing my plans, or am I honoring His plans for my life? And so when you get to that point, your faith increases, and then the miracles start to happen. Then you can look back later and say, gosh, he did this for me then. Why would He not be there for me now in the future? And I can go back and reference certain moments in my life where I know it was only God. And so I'll kind of summarize this by saying there was a pastor by the name of Bruce, I think it was Wilkinson, that wrote a prayer of Jabez, like 30 years ago. And it was based off the scripture from 1 Chronicles 49:10. And he was building a church, and it got to a point where he couldn't grow it any larger. And I don't remember even what church he was leading at that time, but the story is unique, because he realized that I'm trying to do this, at this point I'm trying to do this on my own power, and I got nothing left to give, and this thing is starting to stagnate. God, what do I do? And he came across this Bible verse in 1 Chronicles 49:10, and it says, "Oh, that you would bless me indeed, and enlarge my territory, that your hand would be with me, and that you would keep me from evil, that I may not cause pain." And at that point, his prayer became it became a position me to have impact in this world. It's not about me, it's about you, and that's when things started to change. And so I think we find ourselves in a situation quite often where we start to rely on ourselves a little bit more than we are capable, and that's where we have to let go and surrender, and the surrendering process becomes an empowering process. And at that point, that's when things really start to happen. So I think we need to ask ourselves, am I surrendering? You know, we don't surrender in sports, we don't surrender in war. I'm a former athlete like you.
It's un-American.
Exactly, it's not American, right? But it's necessary for our faith growth, and if that doesn't happen, then we're impeding God's process in our life. So.
Well said, Paul. Yeah, that reminds me of a point. Like my favorite sin is pride. Yeah. It's because it's so hard to put your finger on. I'm awesome at it. If you ever want,
I'm so good at humility.
Yeah, I know.
Just that.
The line I always loved is like, what's the remedy for pride? I'm like, a good humiliation. Like, you know, we don't want to actively seek Him. So, thanks, Paul. Thanks.